Thank you all so much for being willing to watch this recording. We are super excited about the presentation we're getting to share with you for your businesses. So I am excited to have Pastor Ed Milad on with me to go through this presentation with us.
Thank you, Nikki, and thank you for asking me to do this presentation. I think it'd be very advantageous for all of us to be able to know what to say to people that are interested in moving our products and sharing with our clients. So let me go ahead and share the screen and we'll go jump in. Are you ready?
Yes, sounds great.
All right. So what I want to talk about is mainly an experience that I had with one of our a really dear friend of mine who is a dentist. And that kind of prompted me to do this presentation. And at the same time, it's almost like a divine intervention where you also had that idea going through your head and like, why don't we put something together that would benefit the field? So we're going to talk about this and we're going to go through it to be able to not just what we're practicing and doing, but how we can all benefit from it, right?
Yes, sounds great.
All right. So Eon is my number one go-to product. Why do I think it's one of the most potent, quick working products that we've ever had. And it's become one of my favorites. This was actually the first patch that I was put on me by Brother Lorenzo that initiated all this 3,500 people that are in our organization right now. So excited for one product. Although I feel as though the Lord was speaking to me saying, how many millions of people can we help with this technology? And so what does it do? It reduces stress. And we carry our stresses right here, right? So one of our spots that we wear it is right in the back of our neck. And we don't have to get all technical about that pressure point or anything, but it's a really cool place to use so that it can help us to trigger that reduction of inflammation, reduction of pain, reduction of stress. It improves cellular organs, anti-aging, you name it. What I really like, and I wanted to talk a little bit to you also, Nikki, is what it does to our autonomic system and how incredible balances all our nervous system, our circulatory system, breathing and blood circulation. It sometimes it gets out of whack. And what do you think, Nikki, is the major problem why these systems get mismanaged or unbalanced?
People's stress levels.
Exactly. And by reducing stress, I had people tell me when I was at Dr. Caroline Williams in Vegas in her office, I put I was there with Brother Lorenzo and Rick, and we used one of our first patches here, the Eon, and people were like, they were feeling euphoric. They were like so calmed down, and it's so immediately. When this was first put on you, Nikki, did you also feel the same way? What was your emotions going through?
No, I actually had a headache. So it gave me a headache, which means there was something stuck in there that I needed to detox. And so I was willing to just push through that for several days because I knew that there was something that needed to move out. So normally that doesn't make people happy, but it made me happy because I knew it was working. And that meant there was something that needed to move that just got stuck. And so it was doing that for my body.
We have a really good video with Dr. Christine Parikian in California that talks about reactions. And I'm glad that you said that you have that reaction. Some people may say, well, I don't want a headache. Well, do you want to have those toxins in your body? Right. So those
No,
toxins are a lot more dangerous than the little headache that you are going to get.
absolutely.
So
Yes.
on the anything else that you want to share here in this slide with us, Nikki?
No, this is great.
Okay, so we move on. Now, what I share with my friend dentist is we want to tell them how this can improve and benefit their business, their overall bread and butter, right? It's their money
Mhm.
that they're bringing in. So I gave him this example by buying Eon and an average of $49.95 to $69.95, depending what package you come in. you can retail it at $80 to $100. Um, so you can get your profit margin could be anywhere between 50% to 100% profit margin. And that's a really good profits. When you go to a spa or any type of industry like that, the margins are like maybe 10, 15, 20%. The margins are not that very high. And even I, as a jeweler, back in the days in the 80s, we could retail something very high at 100%. Now you're lucky if you can sell a diamond at 10 to 20% retail profit. So that is a really good, their eyes open up, start to open up and seeing it. So I give them this example. Say you have 30 patients, right, per day, and they're each buying one patch for $5. That's an equivalent of $150 that you can make per day, assuming you're paying that $49.95 per sleeve, right? So your profit margin of $100 per 30 patches for 5 days, you can make up to $500. Okay. So, and of course, in a whole 51 weeks, a whole year, there's a potential making of $25,500. So when this number, and I was carefully looking at my dentist friend to see what his reaction was, and his eyes just open up because that's a lot of money that you can potentially put in their in their practice to better their practices, because everybody's always looking for an edge, right? Everybody's always looking for a way of improving their bottom line and their income. So do you have any questions on this slide, Nikki?
No, it's perfect.
All right. So we move on to the next one. And this is the retail sales. And the retail sales, what does that mean? So when you purchase a patch sleeve at a wholesale price and you sell it directly to a retail customer or for a suggested price, you could potentially make more money, right? So that does not include to the preferred customers because they buy it cheaper, but there's also money to be made because some people, they're never going to want to be a preferred customer. They're one time, a lot of us are very skeptical. We put our skeptical minds and, we put those walls and we say, well, it's too expensive, right? And the reason I was one of them, right? So I'm not judging anybody for being that. It's actually kind of good to be skeptical, right? Because if you're not skeptical, you fall for every kind of scam, right? So by being skeptical, you can see that there's value. What is the value? The benefits that come with it, right? So for 30 patches times 50, it's $150. The Eon's $49.95. We very similar to the previous one, but I wanted to I don't want to confuse people because I want them to see the benefits of both, right? Like the preferred customer, and you want to talk a little bit about preferred customers because I know you have a lot of them.
Yeah, so this is just a great option for anyone who would want to just be able to sign, to sell one patch, let somebody come in the office, just use it as demonstration purposes, just put it on top of their clothing. And then by the time they leave, if they want to leave, you can, they want to keep it with them. That can be $5 a patch. You could sell them a week's worth of patches for $5 a patch. So you have multiple options of ways to do this by just selling those single patches in what you can make. But the preferred customer option would be they would pay $20 for the year, and then they would also get the wholesale pricing. So this would take their sleeves down to, instead of the $80, it would take them down to $50. But each time, well, I take that back. It would take it from 80 to 70. So they would be paying $70 for that individual sleeve. And you're still making the $20 on the Eon. And that would also be true for the X39, which is our regeneration patch, which activates dormant stem cells along with helping the cardiovascular system, supporting the collagen. So from the base, your foundational collagen in your entire body, as well as the immune system. So that regeneration patch also, when you sell that at the wholesale price of $100, you would make $20 on that as well.
Great, great. I want to ask you here, Nikki, about what other benefits people get as a preferred customer because yes, they pay
Mm.
$25, but
Mhm.
they get other things for the next 6 months. So you want to talk through?
Absolutely. Yeah. So they pay that $20 for the entire year, one-time fee each year. For the first 5 months, they're going to get an extra 10 patches each month. So even within the first month, they're going to get an extra 10 X39, which is already more than the $20 they would have paid for the year. So now they've got a $50 deduction on what they would have paid as a retail customer, and they have a $30 benefit in extra free patches for the first month for that X39. And that's going to be true. They're going to have an additional 4 months to try some of the other patches that we have. And then the sixth month, they can get one of the supportive patches completely for free. So a 30-day supply. Usually, I always recommend that someone gets Eon, which is what we're talking about, because it reduces stress, is anti-inflammation, and activates that parasympathetic nervous system. And so that's what I usually recommend that they get for that 6 month for free.
Awesome. So there is some great benefits on it to be able to do that, but just kind of let them know that at the end of that, they can also become uh, a business owners if they want to. But we're not going to talk much about that because that's a different video. But just wanted to let you know that there are some really great benefits. So we move on to the next here, practitioners retail income example, right? So let's talk about the number of patients that a particular clinic will have, talking 10, 15, 20, 30 patients at the cost of one patch for $5 for week, every month, weekly income, and a yearly income. So this is a really good sheet to see all at once because you can see the potential. And most people, clinics have a lot more than 30 customers or 30 patients per day, and it grows also because the word of mouth, people telling other people, hey, I've gone to a great clinic who extracted my teeth and I had no pain. I mean, like mind blowing. And this happened to Vicky. We also have a video where we share with my dentist friend the technology and how Vicky was patched all over her face. So she didn't want to feel an ounce of pain, and she didn't. And so that was really cool. So I like this practitioner's retail income example because it gives us an overall view of that. Anything you want to add to this, Nikki?
No, that was great.
All right, awesome. Let's move to the next one now. You want to take on this slide for me?
So we're back to if they become preferred customers, they're paying for the Eon that $70 to 69.95, and they're making $20 and so their customer is getting a discount, and then you are making the $20. So then this shows if you had 25, 100, 250, 500 people on it, how much you would make in revenue. So kind of breaks that down for you as well.
Yeah,
You
and
want to
this
add
is where,
something?
yeah, this is where big numbers come in, right? Because clinics, they just don't want to make $120 a year. Okay, that would not be beneficial for them to carry to train their people because it takes time to train people and so forth. But this is where we come in, right? As entrepreneurs that we are and self-employed, we go to the clinics and we talk to them, we train their people. So they everybody eats every day, right? So it was really cool that I went to it. It was an event that they call Lunch and Learn. And so he put me in front of like 10, 15 people, and they ate and they watched my presentation while they were eating. I patched them all, and surprisingly enough, everybody 100% was out of pain. So that was really exciting. What that did to them is that showed them that technology really, really works. There was a lady, Nikki, that had no feeling in her hands for like years, and she's like,
Wow.
I don't. And she goes, as soon as I passed her, she's like, she looked at me like I had three heads, and she's like, Pastor Ed, I can feel my hand, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And I'm excited all the time because that
Absolutely.
is like it's there's no money that you can put in
No.
to give me that experience to help people all around the world. And she's like,
Mhm.
seriously, feel my hand. This is so amazing. And there's no drugs because like you said earlier, we put it on the back of their clothes, on top of their clothes for illustration purposes, so that they know that there's nothing going into their skin, right? They're non-transdermal. And then afterwards, of course, I tell them so that they don't lose it to take the tape off and put it right directly on their skin. So anyhow, how would you like to make an extra 24,000 to $120,000 a year on your practice? So that is a question that we lead to our practitioners. Now, let's talk a little bit about the income disclosure statement that was on last year. Okay. Now, all these numbers, you might say, what does all mean? You know, some people are not numbers people. I love numbers. I deal with numbers every day. So what I see is that there's great potential. Okay. And now on the next slide, what I'm going to show you is the average time that it takes for somebody on ranking purposes, right? Because even businesses can become ranked. They can be a manager business all the way up to what we call a senior presidential director. That takes 2 full years. And yes, that's full-time working. But you know what? What what industry, Nikki, can you tell me that you start your own business, and in 2 years you have the potential of making almost $400,000 without education? Okay, because as a doctor, a surgeon, you know, a brain surgeon, yeah, they're making this type of money, but they've spent 20 some years of schooling, right? With our network marketing strategy, they had the potential of making $396,580 a year. Now, of course, you have also the brand partners, which is $40, a manager, and so forth, right? So, what do you like best about this slide? Because when I saw this, and I didn't put this together, this was put on, given to us by our customer service and our corporate, so that we can see the numbers, and the numbers speak louder, don't they?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I just think it's important to note that, anytime you're dealing with where you have patients and you have multiple people that you're utilizing, and helping, initially you may be hesitant to give them that wholesale option. But when you do that, the availability is also there for you to start to build a structure to where you're able to make this extra income. So even though you may be thinking through, okay, but what about that, 124,000? So Pastor Ed, if you'll go back one slide for me. So on that slide where, yeah, this is great. So you just see the high when you have a brick and mortar store and you're helping lots of patients, you're going to be more on that high end of what you're able to make and how quickly we can help sit down with you to talk through your business and how it's structured and help you figure out how to design that structure around the people that you have in your business to help you generate and move to these levels, move through some of these levels very quickly based on the number of employees that you think that might be interested. And also, either talking to the people that they come in contact with the business or even people outside of the business that they know, to really where you're giving your employees this amazing employee benefit, to be able to be a part of something like this as well, to where now they have a certain salary that they're on, or they may have retail sales based on if you have other items to offer. So if they sell a certain product, they may get 10% or whatever because they sold that product to it was their sale to the client. But with this, you can actually give them an amazing employee benefit to where they're actually making 100% of that retail profit. But everyone is benefiting. The company is still benefiting as well because they're also getting paid on the volume that moves. And so the amount of potential that can actually be made benefits everyone that is in your corporation and what's going on with you. So yeah, I think it's super exciting.
Well, I like what you said, Nikki, that this is will be easier for practitioners, and it can also go to other areas like churches and places that have a large number of people, right? Because normally the way that network marketing works is one-on-one, right? You're customizing people's health and you talking to them directly, where in as a practitioner or a practice or an office, people are going to them, right? People are going to you who are the experts, are getting well. right? And when a doctor or practitioner or a practitioner helps them and tells them something, it's like their word is bond. Like
Yeah.
we have doctors in our organization, right, Nikki, that use this technology to telehealth, to prescribe these patches to people all around the world. And
Hmm.
that's really, really exciting because, what it does, it moves the potentiality of making money, like you said, Nikki, to a larger amount of people because you will have, and not to put the the dentist or the doctor's or practitioner's office as a business, but it is a business, right? But what I'm trying to say is that it could be the potential could be a lot larger because you can have clients that come to, let's say, to the dentist's office who are entrepreneurs who want to invest in their health, and they see that they have a mother or father or a son or somebody that needs the technology, and their light bulbs comes on. They're like, you know what, I'm gonna use this for my health and I'm gonna get better. And then now the potential for that particular practice gets bigger because you have a network of people underneath of that office creating an immense wealth. And I think that that is why we're doing this. That's why we're so excited that you guys can see the potential of, bringing in a, a practitioner, a health professional that can help you. There's a lot of what do they call homeopathic doctors. There's a lot of people thinking outside the box, right? So MDs are wonderful, and we have a lot of MDs in our company, but a lot of MDs are so focused. Their main sphere of influence is the focus that they have is for a particular practice or a particular thing, right? So a lot of homeopathic doctors and health practitioners are a little bit more open because I asked Dr. Caroline one this thing before because I didn't know what was the difference with a homeopathic or a health practitioner than an MD. And she said this, and I love her, right? Because she goes straight to the point. She says MD are focused on learning one thing and one thing only, right? That's their practice, whether they're brain surgeons, whether they're OBGYs or baby doctors, whatever, that's their focus. As a health practitioner or a homeopathic doctor, they're more open to the idea of helping people in terms of their overall health, not just one focus. So again, we have the ability to help any one of them. And I think it's exciting because we do have a lot of doctors that are using this right now to benefit their business. So, Nikki, do you want anything else to add before we close?
Yeah, just one last thing. So I think what's so important about the structure that we just showed you is that it really brings in a teamwork factor. So with whatever you have going on in your business, whether they are employees, their staff, their booth renters, whatever you have going on in your brick and mortar store, what you can do with this is continue to support everyone that's working with you, and it's this teamwork that you're all moving in the same direction. Everyone is benefiting and helping everyone else, and that's why I love this structure so much. So not only do we have a product that is, has a 96% effective rate, that is like nothing else in the world, there's absolutely nothing that compares, but then we also have this amazing structure that allows you to build out this business with the people that you brought in to your company, that you trust, that you believe in, and allows everyone to work together, and just make the profitability for everyone involved even that much greater. And so it's just a fabulous combination for truly helping people in multifacets of their life.
That's awesome. I couldn't have said better myself. And I'm excited to doing this with you, Nikki. And I know that the universe is in our hand, right? Like we can create anything that we want. And by having the right products, we were talking earlier about two different things, like having the right products and the right attitude to be able to move products and share products with other people, and also creating a vehicle that we can make money, residual income And that is really, really exciting because that's what doctors do, right? They, even though not doctors, but musicians and people like that, they work very hard for a very particular amount of time so that they can benefit and plan for their future. And this is what we're giving you guys an opportunity for your future to plan for it ahead. So you want to go ahead and close us, Nikki?
Yes, absolutely. We thank you all so much for joining us and just taking time to watch this video. And we just pray blessing over each and every one of you and over your businesses as well.
And get back to the person that shared this video with you. And we want to thank
Yes.
you and God bless you all. Bye bye.
Yes. Bye-bye. Awesome.